Oh, hey girl, what's going on? Welcome back. I am so happy to have you back. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notifications on when I post stuff. Um, today so first of all, let me say, I am struggling with the lighting in here because I just fixed the light up in the ceiling. That's a whole other story, but yeah, so I was gonna buy a new light because I needed a light right here, or so I thought. And then a friend came over and was like, "Why don't you use the light from above?" And I'm like, "Oh, I can't remember the last time I had a light bulb in it. Why my brain did not think about that, I don't really know. But I did, and so now I'm like trying to figure it out." So, as I was sitting here getting myself together, getting ready to make some coasters and do some resin projects, I was looking at some of my old projects that needed to be, I needed to decide what I was going to do with it. And here's a great example. So, I needed to figure out what I was going to do with it. And then in the midst of it, I started thinking about my own life, and I was like, I have to share this. So it's kind of like lessons from a cup type deal. So I made this glittery red cup back around Christmas time. But I could not, I let my depression take over and I didn't do anything with it. So then I'm like, well, what do I do? I've got this glittery cup, this red glittery clip. I don't know what to do with it. I have a green one. The green one was going to be a Grinch. Perfect, right? Super cute. Except for the fact that it's not Christmas anymore. So yes, I could make them for Christmas and then I have it ready. It's good to go. I mean, I might still make this one a Grinch just because, but I unfortunately had let my depression get the best of me and I didn't do it. So then I was like, well, what am I going to do with this cup? I feel like I've wasted it. I don't know what else to do. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll try this one thing. So then I decided that I would. So let me show you. So this is what I decided to do with this cup. It is super cute. I just decided to put a tattoo on it. And so now this cup is simple, but it's got a whole new look to it. So then I was like, oh, well, let me look at some of the other items, the other cups that I have that I don't really know what to do with. I messed up. Life happens. I don't even know if you'll be able to see on this one, but you can't really see. But this one I messed up, and so all around here is resin. It's stuck, and I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna have to pitch this whole thing. And so it got me thinking about my life, and you just I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to succeed. I'm not going to lose the weight. I'm going the wrong way on the scale. I'm not going to ever break the bad habit that I'm trying to break. I'm whatever, just kind of throw me away with the trash. And then I started with this cup. So this cup has layers of resin, y'all. Layers. And I did not think I was going to be able to break through. And then I did. And I said, and so it's going to take a whole lot of time and effort to be able to undo this cup, to get it to where I can do something else with it. Now, there's a little bit of an easier way, which requires heat, but then that also requires my my mask and I can't really talk while with my mask on. Because it's not just a regular mask. It's a mask. So, but then it had me thinking about my life and the fact that, so what if something doesn't go as planned and you don't get to do, or you don't get to live the certain life that you're supposed to live, or you don't get to do whatever, but it doesn't mean that it can't turn into something really beautiful. Also, you might think this is how your life is. So you're married, you have a house, you've got, whatever, that white picket fence life, and then something happens and destroys your world. And it doesn't really look, or it actually just doesn't really look like it's supposed to. So what this was supposed to be was, I have book pages underneath here, Harry Potter book pages, and I was gonna do the the heat. So as you can tell with my hands, hold on. So it was going to be like color changing. So heated items would make it show up. Well, it looks so cloudy and muddy, and I just didn't like it. So it didn't turn out the way I expected. That's okay. I've gotten much better at being like, that's okay. It's okay if it didn't turn out exactly how I want it. I can strip it and try again. And that is with life. You think you want to go down this career path. You think you want to do X, Y, and Z. Let's not do that because I might injure myself. You think you might want to do X, Y, and Z, and then you get into it and you're like, nah, this really isn't for me. Yes, that might be a lot of time and money wasted. But was it wasted? Did you learn something? Did you gain new experience? Did you grow? Maybe you're supposed to do something else. Were you supposed to do that in the beginning? Or did you try to force your way? Because I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times I don't wait for my conversation, or I don't wait for an answer. I just forge my way through and hope that it turns out in a positive way for me. Sometimes it works out and it's great. Other times it's a complete and total disaster. But it doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean that's the end. It doesn't mean you can't strip and try again. It's like a new outfit. I don't like the way this looks. Okay, try it with something else. Try it with a different pair of shoes. Try it with a different whatever. And you just keep going and you keep trying. Now, I also, lots of thoughts coming into my head. This is also, for me, it feels like the undoing process. So I learned a lot of negative habits and and now this is me undoing those negative habits, and it's gonna take a minute, and you're gonna have, you might have to go through a little heat, to get there. But it doesn't mean you can't get there. It might take a long time. It might take a really long time. And that's okay, as long as you're still trying and you're still pushing through. Man, y'all. It's crazy. I get on here and I start with one thing, and then as I continue, I think about other stuff and I think about my life, and my focus is to get this stuff out of my head, to get these things, to share them with you in hopes that maybe you get something from it, but also for me to see my growth, to see the things that I need to still change. And then you learn, and then you make big progresses, and you're like, yes, I'm actually doing it. It's happening. Things are coming together. It's working great. It's all coming off. It's still hard. Let me tell you, it's still hard. It is still hard to figure it out. And, there's still a little bit of stuff that you have to get off, because no matter how old you are, you've got some stuff, and you might have learned it at a young age and didn't even realize you learned it at a young age. And so that's a lot of years of undoing. That's a lot of years of undoing. Habits, toxic traits and behaviors. And then at some point, it might just stop. Your growth, you might just feel like your growth just stopped. And now what? Now what? You're not quite there yet. You're not quite succeeding in breaking that habit, but you're halfway. You're getting there. So now at this point, what do? Do you just say, God, that was so difficult? I don't even know if I can get the rest off? Or do you keep pushing through and try to finish it? Now, the question is, are you determined? Do you have the self-discipline? And for me, self-discipline is a growth gap that I am currently working on. I struggle with doing the things that I say that I'm going to do, even if it is to help myself. And I didn't realize it was a growth gap until I started to take this, not quite a class, but a growth. I'm working on my growth gaps. And this is something that I've learned from Valerie Burton. Y'all, it's crazy. It's something that I learned from Valerie Burton. I did her vision board for this year, and she was talking about growth gaps. And growth gaps are basically what is stopping you from getting from where you are to where you want to be. And I have a lot of growth gaps, and I'm not going to try to focus on every single one of them at the same time, but there are certain ones that I really need to focus on. One is self-discipline, consistency, and laziness. And I'm like, I'm not lazy. But then something happens and I am. Let me tell y'all, this hurts. It hurts my fingers. It hurts my wrist. It hurts my hand. But in 15 minutes, I am almost through. I could have given up because of how hard it is. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Halfway through, I wanted to give up, but I was doing this video, and so I said, well, I've got to at least keep going. Because my hands hurt, my wrists hurt, and whatever it is that may, and I'm breaking stuff. Also, this is not a tool. This is my Cricut tool, but I have a couple of other ones. So that's the only reason why I'm using it. And I also said that there was an easier way, but at times it's not actually easier. Oh, shoot. At times it's not actually easier, because then you got to heat it up, and then you got to make sure that you don't burn yourself in the process, and that you still have to peel, and the heat just makes the peeling a little bit easier. Y'all, I have been putting this off. Procrastination is another growth gap of mine. I have been putting this off because of how hard I thought this was going to be. Now, is it hard? Yes, it is. But also, now all I have left is some paper that I can go to the sink and soak off. And it took me 20 minutes at most to accomplish this. But I have been putting this off, I have been putting this off for months, because I was just too afraid that I wasn't going to be able to take it off. I wasn't going to be able to get it out. It was just going to be what it was. But here I am. It's done. I have all of these pieces, these shredded pieces from my hard work. And now I throw them away and I move on, and I use this as a lesson to keep pushing forward, whether it's in the cups, whether it's in school or work or whatever, because consistency and not procrastinating and self-doubt. I didn't think I could do it. I wasn't strong enough to do it. These are things that I struggle with, and maybe you struggle with them too. It's okay. Just push through and know that you have someone who is always with you, whether it's God or your higher power, whatever your higher power is. For me, personally, it's God, and I trust that He's got me. And so I have to just figure out how to just push through and not let my human brain try to do all of it on my own. Because guess what? I can't. So I hope you got something from this. I did. In the midst of it, I got a whole bunch of lessons that I was sharing, that I was gathering for myself. And I hope you got something from it. I hope you have a grand, fantastic week, day, month, and whatever it is you're afraid to do, take that first leap and just do it. You never know. It could only take 15 minutes, but it might be hard work, and it's okay if you do hard work, because you grow from that hard work. I know I do. All right, that is it for today. I just want to remind you guys, you are beautiful, you are amazing, and you are enough. Bye.